Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition, no matter what that condition is, to know beyond the shadow of doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, you are never, ever alone. Now, here on Invisible Condition, we get it. Okay, I believe me, over 3 years on the air, we have had so many guests that you have been able to observe that there are some conditions out there that are rough, that can be really crazy and really affect your daily life. And so sometimes life can suck once in a while, right? But the other thing that you've got to remember, the important thing you've got to remember is that there is always hope. There's always hope. And so I want to make sure that if you have misplaced yours, uh, shoot me an email. Let me know. Just put hope in the subject line, and you don't even have to type a message. If you don't even like, if it's too much or you don't want to talk about it or whatever on the email, just put hope in the subject line. I will get in touch with you and we can talk about it. It's that important. Hope is important, and nobody should lose that. So, yeah, there you go. All right, listen, I wanna go over a couple things. I want to just talk about a couple uh, of our amazing sponsors before we bring our guest on real quick, and then we are going to hit the ground running. So, because Michelle Cooling is here again today, which is going to be awesome. Because I still don't know what we're going to talk about, which is fun. That's part of the fun with Michelle. So stick around. Now, let's see, which one's that? Okay, we'll talk about Hydro with Hope first. That's the one I clicked on first. By the way, I'm in a new in case I haven't said this recently, I'm in a new, not a new studio. I'm in the same place, but we're using a different software. So if the button pusher is hesitant and not pushing the right buttons right away, it's me. I'm still learning this new platform. We've been with the same one for 3 years, and then we just switched. So thank you for your patience. Hydro with Hope is the nonprofit partner for our show, and there are hundreds of thousands of babies born with a condition called hydrocephalus every single year. It's one out of every 800 babies, I think, every year, every single year that's born with this. 400 and something thousand babies. It's crazy, and anybody can acquire it at any time. All it takes is a severe enough traumatic brain injury, brain tumor, something, anything that obstructs the flow of the fluid that is surrounding your brain in your skull. And so it's very common, is my point. And I was diagnosed with that condition at 2 weeks old. I've had 7 brain surgeries because of it. And so in 2022, we launched Hydro with Hope. And that is an organization to help people with this crazy journey of hydrocephalus. And I'm more of a boots on the ground kind of guy. I'm the guy that wants to hug the family, answer your questions, and see if there's anything I can do to help you practically. So what we did was created this journal called My Hydro Warrior Story. This is a 150-page fill-in-the-blank journal that can just walk you through that whole experience of, holy crap, I have to have brain surgery again, or holy crap, I just found out my kid's going to have brain surgery for the first time. What do I do? Also, I want to talk to you. So that email I had up there before, there and well, that's not our website link. This is actually a donation link to help us keep it going. You can donate monthly or one time. We love you either way. Thank you in advance. Hydrowithhope.com has a place where you can reach out to us, or that email that I had there, jeff@hydrowithhope.com. So also, I want to talk to you about Network Referral Group, NRG for short, or if you say it real close or real fast, it's energy, right? So, and it is a higher energy group, man. This group is amazing. I've done over 25 years of business. I've done a lot of networking. I'm sure you have done tons of networking if you're in business for yourself. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to say it this way. Networking is not all created equal. There are some good, some bad, some ugly, some scary. Woo! Mike at NRG does it right. This is the purest form of networking that I've ever seen. You show up, you get referrals, you go build your business. Honestly, I say this kind of in jest, but sort of not. And Mike loves this line when I say it on when I'm with him, but he's honestly ruined me for all of the networking because this group does it so well. So if you are somebody who likes to network and you want a national slash international opportunity to do that, scan the QR code, tell Mike that I sent you, tell him Jeff sent you from Invisible Condition, and he'll hook you up and invite you to a meeting, and you come check out what it's all about. It's amazing. So, all right, that is enough of that. Let's bring Michelle on here and see what we're going to talk about today. Always a thrill to bring Michelle on and wonder what the heck are we. I wonder what the heck are we going to talk about today. So,
I wonder what the heck we're going to talk about today. So we're in this boat.
well,
Yeah.
as long as we're both on the same page, that's
There
great.
we
Okay.
go.
Yeah,
That's why this works.
that's right.
Well, I also love Micah Energy, just saying, little plug in. And it's so beautiful to have just so many wonderful connections
Right.
available. So many wonderful people
I
there.
mean, sending them to you, I've sent you connections from all these meetings that I'm having and all these things that I'm finding from NRG stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
just me. I think I've sent you quite a few, but I'm sure other people have too. So it really is like a never-ending source of referrals. It's crazy. So
Yeah. So great.
yeah, Mike was just talking about you the other day too. So if you ever showed up to another meeting, he'd probably fall out of his chair. He hasn't seen you in a while. He's like, where is she? I haven't seen her for a while.
I
So
know.
anyway,
Yeah.
all right. What are we talking about?
Well, we are going to talk about why God triggers us. Okay, that's a good one. I have a lot to say on that and a lot I've learned because he's triggered me so much. So firsthand experience speaking on this. And for those who are new, I've been on the show for a long time, so there's lots of videos where you can get to know me and my story. The long story short of it is I developed a chronic illness and a severe situation physically when I was a teenager and essentially was bedridden for a couple of years. I exhausted regular medicine. I exhausted alternative, holistic, functional, integrative, Chinese, herbal, blah, blah, blah. I exhausted all the other forms of medicine I could find. And it really the best I got out of that world was symptom management, meaning if I didn't do XYZ and I did do XYZ and I spent all the money on the supplements and I ate really restricted and I went and saw the chiropractor every week. And, I did all these things and I purified my water and my air. And I mean, it just like goes on and on, right? And I tried this new therapy and I did that new technique and then it kind of worked some of the time, but then I still had lingering symptoms. That's really the best that it got me. And to me at the time, that was miraculous, life-saving. I'm like, wait, yay, I have my life back. I'm not bedridden. Cool, I'll take it, right? But just round and round the hamster wheel of that, recognize something in me, recognize this can't be it. And something in me was seeking truth and healing and true life, like true living, not like restricted living in a bubble living and
Yeah.
micromanaging my body living. So that's what had me seek what I didn't know and kind of throw everything I knew out the window to just try to come at it from a blank slate. I have a background in functional medicine, holistic nutrition, dozens of certifications in different modalities, techniques, trauma work, blah, blah, blah. And so what I ended up finding one little bit at a time is a lot of what I teach now, and it continues to expand and grow, and I continue to learn. And the more people we work with, and after working with thousands of people and watching what works and what doesn't and how to do things more efficiently, that's from where I speak now, and I'll continue to grow and learn. I'm learning every day. There's no arriving for sure. But it's a really beautiful, meaningful journey. So the outcome of what I've learned in nervous system regulation and addressing the root cause and everything I'm going to continue talking about on this show, how to get the body to heal itself. What does that look like? How do we get out of survival mode? What does that mean? I don't need supplements. I can eat whatever I need to eat whether that's GMOs or things with pesticides on it or gluten, dairy, sugar, it doesn't matter. My body is fully functioning and optimal. I can smell car exhaust or like scented things and not get
Yeah.
headaches and migraines. And, you know, I'm not reacting to stuff like I was. I am off meds. My lab tests are normal, which was medically impossible because I had not only an autoimmune situation, but I had a genetic condition that showed up in lab tests as well, several, and those aren't showing up anymore. And I also had severe chemical sensitivities and heavy metal toxicity and certain infections in my body that are supposed to be permanent and lifelong. And all of those aren't showing up and are gone too. So it's like from here, I am speaking, and I have always been a proponent of, you know, find the mentors that are living the results I want and do what they do. I've
Yep.
said that for a really long time since I was a teenager, is like, that's the smartest way to go about this life is
That's right.
look for the people that I want to emulate and study them, you know, and follow in their footsteps. So
It's almost kind of like the next level version of you are who you you are the 5 people you hang around most, right? Like that.
true.
That's like everybody said that forever, you know, like your 5 closest friends are who you're going to be the most like, you know.
So true. Yep.
It's not just kids that have to choose that carefully, everybody.
So true. Oh, I know, especially us. Yeah, because we just get in our ruts. Yeah, and also I love, don't know if you've heard it, but it's like find a teacher and find a friend. Because your teacher, you're going to continue being pushed, expanded, you know, nudged. You'll mature, you'll grow. They'll push you, but your friend, if it's like-minded, of course, but your friend is the one that's going to build you up, encourage you, hold your hand. Let's go together. We got this. So
Exactly.
find your
Love
teacher,
it.
find your friend.
All right.
Okay, so let's dive into it. Why does God trigger us? I think that our relationship to what is triggering, stressful, and what brings up the negative in us is typically viewed through a very victim-y lens. I'm already triggering people, I'm sure.
Well,
So let me clarify.
and I have a question right off the bat, though.
Okay.
Why would God be the one that would see? Some would say, "Are you sure it's God?" Or you think maybe it's the enemy that's triggering me, and God's the one that I'm running to help to get the help with the. Oh my gosh, I'm being triggered. Why would God be the one that would be the one that'd be poking the bear?
I think this is the point of the episode, and
There
I
you
love
go.
that question. I love that question. Hopefully by the end, if I talk for 50 more minutes, we'll get to some semblance of an answer. Well, 45. Okay, or whatever, however long. Okay, so great question, Jeff. Okay, first of all, I threw the word victim out there. That's a big triggering word. Let's talk about it. Triggers feel, when you're inside of them, hopeless, frustrating. It's like I'm stuck. I can even often, not always, cognitively see what's going on. Like this thing, this situation, I'm so scared, or I'm upset, or I'm frustrated, or I'm in this pattern I can't get out of. I hate it. You know, it's like on some level, we can cognitively often see I'm triggered because, well, we don't feel loving and peaceful. So there's a disruption in the force, right?
Because this event happened and it reminded me of some sort of emotional trigger that sent me down the rabbit hole. Right? It was
Yeah.
It's
Or
not
like
my fault. I didn't mean to run into that situation. Why would right? Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
Or like I'm consistently having problems with money. I'm sick of this, or like relationship issues, or life circumstances. You said in the beginning, sometimes life sucks. It's like those things bring up in us the snow. What do I mean by snow? Well, oftentimes I give the analogy of a snow globe, and we are inside the snow globe. And so when life's ups and downs happen, because life is full of ups and downs, right? It's like our snow globe is shaking. And so what it shakes up, what's inside the snow globe, is what matters. And it will reveal what is in us. What are our deep-seated beliefs? We've talked about that in the last couple episodes. What are our deep-seated fears, doubts, insecurities? Where are we in survival mode? Where, like, you know, what what is our default mode network? It's a real thing. We could talk about it in a little bit, but what is our default mode, basically? What is our patterning? What is our programming? What is our conditioning? What is the condition of inside of us?
Yeah.
So if there is snow, like a blizzard in our snow globe, and the snow globe shakes up, it's like we're seeing life through the snow, through the static, through a blizzard. And that changes how we experience life, right? Same road, you could drive it a million times. It's different, your experience, whether it's sunshiny or whether it's blizzardy, right? Let's
Totally.
be honest. Whether there's black ice on it or whether it's snow packed or whether it's, whatever.
Yeah.
So if there's not snow in the snow globe and there's glitter, that was my original view, is like, yay, it's all sparkles and sunshine, right? And that's what shows up, like our strengths and our confidence and our values and our healing, like our wholeness, our solidness, our whatever, God, love, those things, our strengths, our confidence. If that's what shakes up, then we're going to see the circumstance through that lens, right? So it's like, what pair of glasses are you wearing? Most people don't even know they're wearing glasses. So the point of the trigger is like one big fat mirror that says, hey, this is what's going on inside. Or, hey, look, what pair of glasses are you wearing? What's the title? What does it say? I'm worthless. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. Like, what do the glasses say that filter what you see? It's like when you're in the movies, the 3D glasses versus not, the red versus the blue. And there's some images, if you guys don't know, you should Google it, where there's certain images that if you look through the red, it looks like a very scary picture. And if you look through the blue side of those like theater glasses, it filters what you can see. So it looks like a beautiful, happy picture. And it's amazing that what's on the screen or what's on the page doesn't change. But because of the filter that you're wearing, it changes how you perceive it, how your brain literally perceives what is on the page or the screen.
For anybody that's not seen this movie, this is a really good illustration of it. National Treasure.
Oh,
If anybody's ever seen National Treasure, Nicolas Cage and John Voight, and it was like awesome, amazing, one of my favorite movies of all time. And there's a point they're looking for this map, and they're looking for this treasure. They're searching for treasure, and this whole progression all through the movie. And there's one point where they get this pair of glasses, and it's clear lenses here, but then there's like blue and red that you can like move out of the way or into the way, and it showed what what he was seeing when he would do that. And it's true. It was like when just the red was there, you could see certain things, and then when you put the blue there, and it changed it, and it had some totally different information on it.
right.
And so you had to be looking at it through the right lens to be able to find the treasure. And so it was, that was, I don't know, when you said that was the first thing that I could just see them doing that, looking at the map. I know.
It's so good. I know.
Yeah.
For anybody who's new,
know.
Jeff has the best movie references. He turns all of these into like relatable movie references. And then
the resident movie junkie here. That's the movie savant here. You gotta.
So good.
I'm glad it's helpful. Good. It
is. And then they get to go watch all these cool movies.
And then they get to go watch the movie. That's right. That's right. You're welcome. Let me know what you think of the movie. Yeah.
That's good. That alone is the reason to watch the shows. It's actually cool because one of the last episodes we did in the last few was all around, it started with what is God? I know that's a triggering question, but that was the point, right? And then we went into talking about what is the context you view life through.
Yeah.
The same words I'm speaking could be interpreted a million different ways. And if you can't see what your interpreter is doing, that will affect how you perceive the information. So we've been talking about this for a little while. That would be a great one to watch. And it starts, what is God? So, or who writes your story, I think is
I think that was
line that we put in there. Yeah. So, okay. So lenses, right? Glasses, the snow globe. Here's another analogy, is like if you take a glass of water and then you dump a bunch of dirt in it, it's going to get very muddy and gross. However, if you let the glass sit there for long enough, right, the top of the water looks clear again
Mm-hmm.
because all of the stuff settles to the bottom and it
Yep.
just stays there. So it actually looks like it's a clean glass of water. And that's how we mostly relate to ourselves. I'm a clean glass of water. I'm pretty
Everything's
good.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's cool. It's all down there. We're not looking at it. We forget that it's even there, actually. So
Right.
it becomes unconscious or subconscious most of the time. So then God comes along with a stir stick, right? And stirs it up. Why does he stir it up? Because he knows what's inside and he knows it is contaminating the water that's there and he knows it's not good to drink and he knows that when you approach life through that, it's going to become muddy again. And what we do is like, oh, I don't know why I'm experiencing this mud. And he's like, it's because it's in there and I'm trying to get it out. Now, I've heard a few other and seen a few other analogies, which are really cool, is like, how do you clean out the glass? And the most efficient way that I have seen, and people demonstrate this as well, is by pouring more clean water in. Just continue to pour the clean water in. It
Everything else.
stirs it up, it overflows, and eventually there's nothing but clean water in. So that's not most people's approach to healing their physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual traumas, illnesses, conditions, etc., and behavioral, like
Most
eating
of
disorders
it's
and addiction.
most of it's targeting each pebble and saying, how do I get rid of that one?
Yeah,
Oh, I need
right.
that therapy. How do I get rid of that one? Oh, I need this scoop. I need
Yeah.
this certain type of spoon.
Oh, I got
I need,
one.
hey, I got one.
I
Yeah.
got one. We're all good. It's like, oh, there's more than we even know is in there, right?
Yeah.
So that's what God does when we receive him, is he pours his light, his love, his truth, his highest vibration, however you want to say it, into us. And what does it do? It exposes everything that's there. So we think like lovey-dovey, truth, God, healing, woo, is like positive, feel-good stuff. And I heard another woman say it this way. She's like, this week, literally yesterday, perfect timing for this. She's like, I don't know why when I seem to like let God in or pursue good things or pursue God, that all of the world comes in at me also. Like, why is this happening? And it's actually not, that's not what's happening, but our perception is very skewed because it's very muddy. Think of it that it's very snowy, it's very lensy.
Yeah.
So what's actually happening is the more that we encounter the highest vibration, we'll use a different language for some of our audience for a little minute. When the highest vibration comes in, the lower vibrational things cannot remain. They, by definition in physics, have to come out. Something can only remain lower vibrational if it is separate. So when you bring it into love, into God, into truth, into light, the darkness into light, the darkness can't remain, right? The shadows, once they
Right.
become conscious, can't remain shadows anymore because literally they're out here. So that's also why it's so important to pray with one another with like mind, because you're actually getting the information into the light, whatever's going on, instead of keeping it in the dark and hidden.
Yeah.
That's also, I don't like the word sin because we don't understand that in its Hebrew and Greek context, but that's why it's like confess your sins one to another. It's actually just missing the mark wherever you're not in alignment with who you are and how you're created and what's
Yeah.
highest and what's healthy and what's good. It's every place that's out of alignment with that highest good path is actually what that is. So it's like,
Yeah.
when we confess and bring that and talk about it with people that can hold space for us, that have the same commitment and values, it literally gets it out and it exposes it. And simply by bringing something into the light, it is already transformed. There's a little more work to do, but that in and of itself is an act of healing and revealing what's going on inside, bringing up the snow. So my job through God's commission, it's a fun way to say that, is to be a stir stick. People don't like it, but it's funny. It's like their souls love it. I know you're laughing.
Oh, because I know what's coming.
Yeah,
I know what's coming. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like,
Stir stick. That's a really good that's a really good way to say it though. Yep. Here comes McCall. Here comes Michelle. She's gonna come and kick my butt and stir things up a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and think about it.
Oh,
Okay, here's another analogy. I don't know why the analogies are coming, but I think it's helpful for us to relate to and find the one that works for us, because we will also forget everything I'm saying the moment we're triggered. That's
yeah.
the mechanism of the trigger. The snow, and all of a sudden you can't see anymore. You can't hear, you can't think, you can't see. It's just like hijack.
Yep.
So if we can build skill sets and muscles and reminders inside of that, and slowly start having a way out, which, by the way, God promises us that he will always provide a way of escape. He is the way,
He is
the
the
truth,
way.
and the life. But he says there will always be a way of escape provided for you. You will never be tempted beyond anything that you can bear. There's always a way. So it's like, okay, we know this, but how do we live it? How do we actually take ourselves from a traumatized, triggered experience back into clarity? And what's cool is every time you go through that, the glass becomes more clear. So the next time it's stirred, it's not going to be as much, although you may not feel like it's less in the moment, but you will see progress. And then you'll look back and be like, wow, well, it used to be that way, but that's not even happening anymore. Now, when I'm triggered, it's this thing that's coming up, but it's not all of that. You can see your progress, which is important to look back and realize. Um,
Yeah.
I know I'm fire hosing you, but it's important. Okay,
No,
new
no, no.
analogy:
Good.
the refiner's fire. Okay, it's like the silversmith. He sits over silver to refine it.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He cranks up the heat.
Yeah.
That's another stir stick. That's literally, I'm boiling hot. Like, isn't it hot enough, God? And it's like, actually, there's a purpose for this, right? It's all the impurities come to the surface so they can be skimmed off. And the purpose of that is so that his face is reflected perfectly in the silver. We are the silver, right? And there's other scriptures that talk about iron sharpening iron. That's what we're supposed to be to each other. It's all mentioning the same thing. So we think maybe the enemy's turning up the heat. Well, maybe God's allowing that, but he's the one sitting tending to the silver with his own hand, removing the impurities. And unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, where we're just like, okay, do your thing then.
Yeah.
It's like
All right. Yeah.
we're actually experiencing the impurities as they come up.
Yeah.
And so why this is important to talk about today is so people can start understanding what is actually happening and see it from a new perspective, not a victim one, and then like an empowering context. And then second of all, know how to navigate it, because that's helpful. Yeah,
Yeah.
see what's actually happening, know how to navigate it, and know how to like work with it, like to know how God works through these two things. How does this work? How do I navigate it? And understanding a bigger context of how God works. So one thing that happens, which is why this is tricky, is that the very thing that's getting exposed, like our next level, okay, video game, right? The bosses get harder.
The levels get harder. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the step. As we're working up, we've introduced the soul map in previous things, just to briefly mention it. It's a really quick snapshot in one page of like our journey through healing, through growth, through spiritual warfare, through whatever you want to call it, through crucifying our flesh daily and allowing Christ to live in us, what all the egoic patterns are and where they come from, what is in our shadow. It doesn't matter what language you take. And so it starts at like darkness and death and grief and shame and apathy and fear and anger and pride and like those things, right? And then it kind of is like, oh, now I'm neutral and I'm willing and I have courage and I'm in acceptance. And then it's like reason and intellect. And then it's like, oh, now we're more spiritual. Like now I get to be loving and I get to be peaceful and I get to be at one with everything. And I get to, these things, right? I get to be a conscious, present, aware. I get to
Right.
experience wholeness, right? But it's still inside of a very fleshly driven context,
Okay.
right? Like spiritual ego. So this map goes from kind of the lowest of the low to these really like accomplished states that our egos can get our identity in. Anything but God, anything but internal value. And so, and even if they sound positive, like peace, it's like a pseudo peace. It's
Mm.
the knockoff version, not the name brand.
It's like a temporary peace because everything that you think should be going right is going right.
Bingo. It's like, yeah. So I'm like, my peace is when my husband's doing everything I think he should, and I have enough money in the bank. And so then it's externally derived. And that's why it's fleeting, exactly like you said. So this whole map is just a single snapshot, and we call them the levels, right? What
Yeah.
level are you in on the map? So the level that's being exposed is the one that we start experiencing. It's not
Okay.
like we stay this like, cool, God's right here, I'm right here, we're looking at everything that's happening, we're super objective about it. We're experiencing, we're like inside the experience. So as far as we're concerned, that's the next pair of glasses, and it's just how life is, and that's how we see reality. And that's why it's so hard to remember what I'm saying. That's why no matter how many scriptures I've said that you're like, I already knew that one. That goes out the window when we're dealing with these triggers and these challenges
100%.
and anger and whatever else. This woman that said, God, every time I let you in, the world comes in too. She's struggling with anger. And she's like, I don't know why. Like when I'm at church, I'm like a whole different person. And then it's like I go home and it's just, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, so this is a real experience. We just get caught up in it and we lose clarity. So first of all, if we remember that when we're triggered, we don't have clarity, how I used to say it is, if there's emotional charge, I just know I'm not clear. I'm not seeing the full perspective. I'm in some lens level layer thing. And so the first thing is like, I have snow to work on. Let me work through that. Then I'll reevaluate the actual situation out here. And every single time, not joking, that is literally true. Every single time it is always proven faithful. Work through my snow. Oh, now all of a sudden the situation looks, seems, feels different. And all of a sudden, I'm like popped back out of that trigger thing. I can see clearly. I can think clearly. I can move forward. I can hear clearly. It's like it's good. So that was really hard for me to remember. I spent years forgetting and remembering because every
Yeah.
time I was in the valley, that's how it felt. And it felt like I was back at square one, but I wasn't. I was just working through stuff in an upward
Yep.
trajectory. So, the highs, the peaks, give us actually the energy and momentum to go into the next layer of growth. What's cool too about the map is like every level has every level. So if you think about zooming in, okay, now I'm not in anger. The next one's desire, right? Okay, well, desire starts at the bottom of the map again. So it feels like I'm starting over again and again and again. And the experience of every level and every lens is the same. So if you think
Yeah.
about when it's getting exposed, that's what I experience. That it feels like you're in a hamster wheel, but you're not. You're actually, it feels like you're in just a spiral, but you're not. You're actually upward.
If you look at it, it's perspective, right? If you look at
Yeah,
it from the top, it just looks like you're going round and round and round and round
right.
and round and round, and so there's the hamster wheel.
Yeah, but
If
you're
you look
doing
at it from the proper perspective, you're going this way,
yep.
right? And it's so
Yes.
which is really hard to see sometimes, but yeah.
Oh, completely. Yeah, and the levels loop too. They have loops in them. So, and we
Yeah.
have beliefs that are built out of that. And anyway, so it's helpful to remember what's happening even when it doesn't feel that way. That is actually how I got out of the levels, was simply knowing it and being like, it doesn't feel that way. I don't care. I'm standing on the truth I know, no matter what I feel, and I'm going to go through the process and I'll get to the other side. And heck, if I'm wrong, I'll figure it out at some point, obviously, right? But every time I made those breakthroughs, then it was like, wow, it was true and it worked the same way. So, knowing that this is what's happening, hold on, I'm just listening to see if I need to say anything else about that. You don't know what's coming next. That's also what makes this challenging.
Can I?
Because it's not like there's a guide that says, great, you beat level 4. Now you know you're playing a video game and you know there's going to be a harder boss on level 5, right? It's that it
Yeah.
doesn't work that way. It does, but we don't know what's coming. So that's part of the surprise factor, is it can sneak up on us very quickly because it's not like we know to anticipate it. We can learn to recognize it, but it's never really going to be what we think it is. Why? Because the us that's thinking is from a lower level. So when you go, you can't see what's at the top of the mountain from the foothills. You can only see once you're there. So you can't expect to understand the experience of what I'm saying until you're experiencing it. Every level you
Yeah.
go through when you're up leveling, you're not going to understand it intellectually until you beat the boss. Then you'll know. You're like, wow, my whole experience makes sense because I'm on the top of the mountain looking down at all the trails. I see exactly why we had to take that crossing and why we had to climb there instead of go through what looked like the easy path. And then, like I can see I have perspective now, but you're not going to get that perspective until you're actually already at the next level. That's
Yeah.
important to understand because most people's defense mechanisms of their psyche and survival mode and their default mode has been through intellectualization, but they only have context of the lower levels so far. They won't have
Yeah.
context until they've beat the next level.
Till they understand.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll have
Yeah.
understanding when they're on the top of the mountain, not the journey up. Most people want to understand what the top of the mountain looks like, is, and feels, and will I like it? Will I not? Blah, blah. On the way up the mountain, it's like, that's the wrong question, bruh. You just gotta like one foot in front of the other. When you're on the top of the mountain, you'll answer those questions because you'll have the perspective yourself. Like, just keep going.
How has been the question, has been the like, that has been the one that's gotten me every stinking time.
Right.
How? Well, how is it going to work? Well, how are we going to get there? Well, how is this going to work? I, who cares? It does.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But I want to know how, because otherwise, how
No.
am I going to be able to follow the path if I don't know where the steps are? How are we going to do it? So
Right.
and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's thought that, but yeah, how
Yep.
is such a roadblock. I feel like,
Yeah. Yes,
you
because it's
know,
like, well, I just want to understand it first before I take the step. When it's really just like, you got to just take the step, whatever the step is, just the one next step in front of you. If there's lack of clarity, we can help with that. We do help clients with that. You don't have to figure it out on your own, but it's really like, do first. It's like wax on, wax off. Karate Kid. Movie reference.
hey, by the way, I'm just gonna throw this out there. So everybody, you out there would have never known this, but yesterday Catherine and I, my wife Catherine and I, were going on a walk, and we were going through a certain route that we like to take, through this neighborhood and stuff. And we encountered a guy walking his dog, and I saw him from about quarter mile out because I could see that that dog was huge and he wasn't on a leash, which
Mm,
for me automatically sends up red flag. I'm like, first of all, why is this guy not have it? The leash is right there. I see it in his pocket. Put the dog on the leash, you know? And I'm like, and so I am freaking out. And so we get past the dog, and we're like, oh, hi, how you doing? Yep, yep. And I'm like, I am intent on getting around this dog. And then the entire time, the rest of the walk,
mm,
I am I am in an otherworldly state in my brain, and I want to just get as far away from this dog as humanly possible.
right.
And it's and I'm and this is the And so that is the trigger was that dog, but it was something from almost 25 years ago that I was reminded of with that
Right.
dumb dog just walking, mind his own business, walking down the street, and it all of a sudden, and I don't even remember most of that walk on the way back, and
Yeah.
and Catherine was helping me after we got home, and I don't remember most of that because it was so stirred up,
Yep.
that it was, and so it's the simplest stuff that will take you out of that like that pebble that's in there that gets kicked up,
Yep.
it's the simplest thing.
Totally.
I'm not even sure why I brought that up. I don't remember,
I think
but
it's important. It's sharing like how this works and how powerful the levels are. Cause it's like, well, where did Jeff's consciousness go? Like if
right,
you weren't present and something else was taking over, it's like that's wild when we really think about that. And it's cool because we do have processes for triggers, very methodical and
yeah,
specific ways to get out. So that's easy. Maybe we'll make a series and talk more about that
there you go.
in another episode. But yeah, I mean it's very real. It's very real. And as the more I talk to people about it, it's so cool because I get to see this across so many different people that
Yeah,
I can see, wow, the mechanisms are all the same. We're all dealing with the same
it
mechanisms. It
is.
doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, or what your background is, or what your religious affiliation, your political views, like none of that matters. We're actually dealing with the same mechanisms across humanity.
And
And
you
it's,
don't even have to understand.
yeah, you don't have
You don't have to understand. Like I didn't have a clue. Like that was out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden I'm like, it almost like I blinked and I was home, and it was like, what just happened?
Yep.
Like you don't have to understand the how or or any of that with any of that. You
Yep.
just recognize that that was a thing.
Yes.
And
And
then
this is
how do
what's
we
happening. What are my next steps? Yep. And I don't want to stay here in this with that
right,
pebble in me. Okay, let's get it out.
right.
That's really all the choice that is made. And it's interesting because I watch people get triggered all day long. It's literally my job to help them get out. So so anyway,
Yeah,
it's like every day for me. And it's interesting because what I've been working to help people see is that the moment they are triggered, the moment they know there's a level kicked up, stir stick worked, right? Or there's snow. The moment they know that, there's a choice point. And whether we choose to work to get out of it or whether we choose to embed ourselves further in it, that's actually the choice point. And
yeah.
most people think we live in a world where we think that I'll
Well,
say it this way, where we have time. Oh, we have time. Oh, it's fine. Oh, it'll still be there. Oh, I can decide to deal with it later. No, because the
well,
decision to stay in it is the decision to embed in it further, which makes it even harder to get out. If you didn't get out this time, it's going to be harder next time. You didn't gain the skills required. So the next trigger, you're going to be weaker than if you had gained those skills and muscles through that experience. And then you're taking that in with you to the next one. So you have to maintain your strength in order to be able to do this work. And the more we consciously choose to sit in the mud in the container, right? Or whatever, or choose to hang on to the pebbles, or we choose to not let the heat stirs up, but we're clinging to our muck at the bottom of the silver bucket. It's like the harder, okay, think of it this way. If the impurities don't rise and get out of the silver when the heat kicks up, the impurities are going to bond to the pot. So it's like either way, there is a transformation occurring. That's what people don't understand. So we don't have time. We have now, like we literally have now this choice point because every choice point we make affects everyone around us, affects us, and shifts the condition of our heart. And then with that, we bring that to these next moments. It's like if I embed the filters that I'm wearing my glasses and I don't take them off, they're going to be more deeply embedded in me. And that's what we don't want. So it's like the biggest thing I've been teaching over the last few weeks is the moment you recognize there's a lower level on the map or there's a trigger, there's snow, however you're going to word it, that moment I've recognized it is the moment that is the most important choice to make, because that's where you decide your trajectory. I'm getting out of this and I'm upward spiraling, or I'm staying in it and we begin spiraling in it. Have you ever heard the saying, I know you have something, but words keep coming out. So I'm almost
You're
done.
good.
You're either growing or you're dying. There is no in between. So you're in motion. Your soul is in motion all the time. Holiness is location based in the Hebrew,
Hmm.
where it's a likeness and a nearness to God. It's actually more about location than it is about like goody two shoes status, whatever. And so we're either in the growing trajectory, getting out of the map, being more in the image of Christ, or we're in a downward trajectory, more in the image of deception, flesh, whatever. So if we're always in motion, our choice in any given moment is the most important choice we can make, because we actually change the location we're in. Similar to the concept we've been talking about, and then it's your turn,
You're good.
of
Yeah.
how we're always channeling something, we're always speaking something. We're speaking spirit or flesh, we're speaking love or we're speaking death, we're speaking life or death, love or fear, um, blessing and curse. That's the language in the Bible. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Choose life. Blessing and curse. Choose blessing. Um, right? Love over fear. I've not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. My sheep know my voice. I mean, there's just so many things that are there. You were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord.
Hmm.
Like, this is what we choose to be and choose to become. And it literally is a mechanism of what we give our attention to, number one, what we give our loyalty, number two. So when my soul spark gives choice to God, who is life, who is love, who is truth in the highest form, um, and substance, I have autonomy, I have agency, I have free will. He honors that relationship, he honors me. I can see and continue to grow into his perspective, into his likeness. I get the mind of Christ, right? I have a new heart implanted within me. Like, I'm transformed by the renewing of my mind, all of these concepts, okay? So when I give my soul, spark, life, force, energy to him through choice, I gain life, I gain choice, right? And
Hmm.
he gives us the gift of eternal life. When I give my essence, my choice, my free will, to deception, to darkness, to the lower levels, to triggers. The Bible says, be angry and do not sin. It's not saying that you're going to bypass all your emotions and not experience anything hard. It's like, yeah, sure, experience that, choose life. Experience that, speak life. Listen to him, like follow in his footsteps. Allow that to be what animates me and what informs my choices and my experiences. Experience this through Christ. That's a literal, tangible, experiential thing that can happen in real life. It's not a concept. So when I give that essence of me to deception, to the anything that is not of him, to fear, to whatever level, it consumes me. So it's like you are what you eat. Actually, it's like you become what you speak. What you speak consumes you. Either you are
Hmm.
consumed by life and love and truth, or you are consumed by death, decay, deception, darkness, destruction, chaos, fear, etc. And so if you think about it, when you're in the lower levels and you're scared or you're angry or you're in pride or whatever, you're seeking love from external things, that's the only perspective you can see. So those
Right.
things do not honor your choice and agency. They limit you to only experience themselves. And oftentimes they try to take over our identity, meaning the way that I sound is like, I'm so scared. Like it starts speaking through you. I'm so scared. Well, this is me. And it's like, okay, but do you have an identity in Christ or not? It depends on where you can tell where people have their identity and how they speak. We're not taught this, so I'm glad this is a lot,
Right.
but I'm glad we're introducing the concepts, because if I place my I in fear and I speak, I am so afraid, blah, 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 I have placed my identity in that. It has become me. when I see from the higher vantage point, the highest vibrational vantage point available, and that is what I place my eye in, all of a sudden there is a shift in the experience. So we're not experiencing things as they are, we're experiencing things as we are. I mean, how many of these
Yeah.
pieces have we heard? But hopefully putting them together in this way is bringing it to life, and like, this is actually real, literally real, not conceptual. And how we speak is very right out of the mouth, the heart speaks. So we can literally see what's going on inside. So why does God trigger us? Is to reveal the condition of our heart, because he knows he's seeking us. And for those of us who are seeking him, he's making himself available. But that's not just this magical, like, poof, we're all of a sudden just perfected in him. It's a journey of working out our salvation in him, is what scripture says. And so it's more like he has to show us, hey, look over here. You've got darkness embedded here. Do you want that? No, I do not. I'm making a choice there. And then, oh, hey, there's this thing over here. I'm making a choice there. Great. Can I bring in his love and truth in these places in me? And that's as simple as it is recognizing it. What is the snow? What is the dirt? Making a choice point, bringing in his love and truth, and everything you will experience differently after that. And then he cranks up the heat some more. Repeat.
Exactly.
Okay, that was a lot. You have questions, and we have to wrap up the show. Go.
I'd say we have about a minute left, but what I wanted to say is maybe we can remember this for the next episode, and we can pick up where we left off, because what I was going to say is, in that moment yesterday when I was stirred up and had that, and this is to a point that you made, there was a split second where I could see another choice.
Wow.
And then all the stirred up stuff kept clouding that choice, and I went down this road.
Yep.
And I got way down that road, and that's why I don't remember most of the rest of that walk, and that's why we had to do some prayer work and get some, and so but yeah, so there is that point. And I think a couple of years ago I probably wouldn't have recognized that, and I would have just like head first dove right in there. But there was that tiny little bit of hesitation, and then I still, so it's a learned skill, is my point.
Yes, which you are having and recognizing the choice point, because now you know. And so the next time you recognize it, it's like, wait a second, now I know even more. This is the choice point. Okay, I'm going on the different one. I'm gonna try that.
So we can maybe we can talk about that next time. Let's write that down or something, so we can remember that. And then next time we can go from that point forward and maybe cover even more, because it was and of course I didn't realize that until after. Of course, I snap out of this crazy, and I kind of open my eyes, and I kind of, like, oh, hi, Catherine, you're here. Okay, yeah, this is great. And I kind of snapped out of it, and then I could look back and go, oh, there it was, that point right there. So yeah. So anyway, we can dive into that next time, because I'm sure we could definitely, that alone could be a whole episode.
Totally.
So,
well, and most of what I learned in hindsight, right? Hindsight,
exactly, of course. Exactly. That's why that's a thing. So
it's just like, keep going. That's the biggest thing, is like, keep going. You're in your process with God. Keep going. It's not a problem ever. He works all things together for good. Hopefully this helps ease some of the experience.
That's exactly right. So I love these episodes, and then on the other side, I'm like, crap, I wish we had another hour, because we could totally keep going for another hour.
I know,
but we can't. So
bite-sized pieces is probably better.
We'll get there. We'll get there next time. So thank you, wherever you are watching. And I've said this so many times that I'm sure if you had a comment or a question, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, you probably would have put it there. been like, what the heck are you people talking about? We're happy to, get you in touch with Michelle, and she can walk you through it. Join us for, I wrote this down because I wasn't sure I wasn't sure where else I could remember this. So the next time we will see you, Michelle, will be on June 16th. So that is our next episode with Michelle. And then the next episode in general that I look forward to seeing all of you at is going to be June 5th. So thank you so much for being here. Michelle, thank you all for being here. And we'll see you next time.